Hello, everyone. My name is Josh Bassett, and I'd like to talk about my experiences while growing up within the LDS Church as a gay and autistic individual, because I believe that sharing my story will help others in and out of the church to either understand those who don't fit the cookie cutter mold or comfort those with experiences similar to mine. Now, before I begin, I will add a few disclaimers. I will be addressing some specific issues with some specific people that I'll choose not to name. If you know who you are and you choose to listen in on my story and believe that I wasn't being truthful, if I dramatized events more than they actually were or missed some small detail, tell me so. However, I implore that you keep in mind that I am only giving my honest opinion and my point of view on how things have happened. If you have your own perspective, great. I'd appreciate the input so I can understand your point of view. And so long as you're respectful of my own, refrain from downsizing my experiences, I'll be respectful of yours. And if you hear something that offends you, you're more than welcome to be offended. I will carry no responsibility for how you choose to react about my experiences and my own feelings, especially if it comes to the topic of faith or sexual orientation, because one affected how I view the other in a way that I've come to view myself as a man. And I believe that every day I'm living as my authentic self, free from the influence of what I view now as an oppressive organization. I have become the best version of myself that I am today and hopefully will be tomorrow. Some people will be more obvious than others, such as my parents or siblings if you know them. And what I say in this will have some good and not so good things that I believe are relevant to my story. I still hold the emotional scars of what was said and done, and I know that they can't be taken back, but I have already forgiven my parents for their mistakes. I can't forget them, sometimes I wish I could, but it just means that I can create better experiences for my own children and for my own husband when and if I have them. And for that, and for the many more positive examples they've been in my life, I thank my parents and my siblings. So if you know them, you know that they're good people. So don't give them a hard time about the mistakes my parents made raising 6 children and the mistakes we've all made growing up in a family of 8 people. I'm sure that we do that well enough ourselves sometimes. I'll also be expressing some pretty mature themes and will be expressing myself in some not so PG language, so I must also insist that you put in some headphones if you have any small children in the room, or remove yourself if at all possible. What I have to share in this regard is not for children, and I hope they don't experience the dark sides of these topics as I have, or the worst of these that others have had. And if I have kids one day, I hope that they never become exposed to any of the intolerant, hateful, and utterly despicable crap that I've been exposed to. I will also be reading this from my tablet or my phone because writing is one of my favorite methods of communication, especially when my words come out crystal clear and without any mental blocks. I also invite my family to share their stories as well, their experiences, their feelings, their thoughts about the church when they were younger and what they think about it now and how it molded them into the people that they are now. And as my last disclaimer, this is just a sharing of my experiences in the church. This is not a method to dissuade anyone from the church. This is not propaganda. This is not a device to lure people into a debate. This is not an attack. This is not a confrontation. As I said before, this is just me being honest and plain, like a delicious New York bagel. I've never had one. I wouldn't know what to expect of it, but I know that it is highly desirable and nutritious, and that is exactly what I want this to be.